Hello and welcome back to Too Many Books. My name is Sean, and today we have a Grim Oak Press unboxing. This, my friends, is the book of the Ancestor by Mark Lawrence, which is actually not one book. I guess it is technically one book in this instance. It's one very large omnibus book. But it's actually three releases in one that Grim Oak has done an omnibus for. Just like they've done the omnibus for The Broken Empire. They did an omnibus for Red Queen's War. Here they are doing an omnibus for Book of the Ancestor, which is Red Sister, Great Sister, and oh god, what is the third one? But anyways, of course, I had to get the optional slipcase. Copies of this are still available. I mean, it's not cheap compared to trade editions, but it's cheap compared to other Grim Oak titles, especially since you're getting 3 books in one. I obviously added on the optional slipcase. Big fan of their optional slipcase. Is definitely worth picking up. But let's dive into the book itself. This, my friends, is the Book of the Ancestor by Mark Lawrence. It is a chunky boy. Look at that. Featuring full dust jacket artwork, full color dust jacket artwork by Francesca Resta. Moving it away from the artist who did the previous 2 trilogies. But that's, more fitting for this story. This does not take place in the same world as the other ones. But anyways, there's a graphic illustration copyright by Mark Simonetti. I guess Simonetti had his hand in this as well. But anyways, this does feature interior artwork by Francesca Resta as well. Just like the other 2 omnibuses, this is signed by both the artist and the author, limited to 1,000 copies. This is 716, which matches my other 2 omnibuses. I was a little hesitant on buying this one. Not because I don't want it. I want to support Grim Oak whenever I can, and I do want it. Holy Sister is the third one. And I do want to support Mark Lawrence whenever I can. Big fan of his work. I have not read this trilogy yet, but I loved Red Queen's War and the Broken Empire trilogies. We have a nice little who's who of characters here. But I was a little hesitant just because Grim Oak, for Broken Empire and for the Red Queen's War, has done individual volumes, or more accurately, they're in the process of doing individual volumes for the Red Queen's War. They've done individual volumes for Broken Empire, which almost seems like they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot with this omnibus here, because you're thinking like, you're gonna, people that I can speak English properly, people are more likely going to want the individual volumes. They are nicer productions overall. They feature a nicer trim size. They're not huge chunky books like this. They feature full color artwork within. But at the same time, people are probably hesitant to buy this one in the event that a individual volume will be done. And I know Sean Speakman had originally said he wasn't sure if they were doing individual volumes, and he sort of backtracked on that and said he will do individual volumes. So, I mean, they're kind of almost in a way shooting themselves in the foot, which is disappointing. But given the fact that I own the other 2 individual volumes, and I don't have the certainty that they're going to do since I own the other 2 omnibuses, and there's no actual guarantee that they will do these individual volumes, I figured, I'm going to buy the omnibus. I don't want to have one extra copy sitting on the shelf there for in Grim Oak's warehouse. Plus, I can guarantee the matching 716 number. But anyways, I think based on the artwork here, it looks like Francesca Resta. It's hard to tell. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I don't know if that was done in grayscale or if it was done in full color and then turned into grayscale. And I'm hoping it was done in grayscale, but based on the previous 2 omnibuses, I'm kind of leaning towards it being transitioned to grayscale. So for the other 2 omnibuses, Jason Chan did the artwork. And the artwork looked fine in the omnibuses, only come to find out that when the individual volumes came out, that they were in fact full color artwork that had been turned into grayscale. And I will say that there's nothing more disappointing than taking a piece of artwork that an artist has intended in one medium, or in this case, the medium being color, and turning it down into a black and white grayscale image. It's very much a bummer. And now What I will say is that Grimoak has gotten better at doing their grayscale if this was originally in color, because I can actually tell what the hell's going on. If you go back and look at the artwork they did for the original Shannara trilogy, in particular the Sword of Shannara, the contrast is horrible in that one. You can barely tell what's going on with the images. Anyways, I'm just rambling about specs of this now, 5 minutes in. The trilogy itself, even though I haven't read it, it features a young woman who has a dark past and the ability of magic. She's got magic within her blood. We got a little bit of extra fiber from the sewn binding there poking through. She's got a little bit of magic in her blood, and she is, you're sent to a school, as one does, to teach them the ways of their powers, to teach them the ways of their magic, the ways to become a Red Sister. And this is the trilogy. This is the story of her overcoming her powers and dealing with all sorts of inner demons and outer demons within the world around her. And if I know Mark Lawrence like I do from what I've read so far, I imagine it's going to be a little grimdark. This one sounds not necessarily happier, but this one doesn't sound nearly as dark as his Broken Empire trilogy was. That is dark. Like, especially the first one, your main character there, your Prince of Thorns, if you will, is not a likable character at all. I mean, he becomes less unlikable, which I guess is somewhat character growth. But I actually enjoyed that trilogy in the end. But it's not really one that he's not a character to be praised by any means, especially in the first volume. This one is going to be a little bit different. I think you are going to connect with Nona a little bit better than with previous protagonists. But I'm excited to dive in. And like I said, I'm excited to add the Omnibus alongside its brethren on the shelf. But anyways, copies of this are still available. Like I said, it's a little bit pricier. I think this was $150, but it's $50 essentially per book in a nicer cloth-bound, sewn binding volume with interior artwork, which isn't bad when you factor it in like small presses and such. Slipcase is optional, so, that's extra funds on top of it if you so desire. But if you don't desire, you still get the beautiful book for the price that it is. But anyways, copies are still available. I hate to say it, I can't picture them selling out anytime soon, just because 1,000 is a huge limitation for what is unfortunately diminishing sales. There's so many other small presses out there, plus I know some people are holding out for individual volumes, so unfortunately, I imagine they probably have quite a few copies left of the thousands. But anyways, check it out. Pick up a copy if you'd like. Once I have read the trilogy here, I will give a full book review on the channel. I do at least one book review a week. Plenty of unboxing videos in between here and there, including a whole playlist of Grimoak Press unboxings if you wanted to check other ones out. But anyways, check out Mark Lawrence. Check out Grimoak Press. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you around next time.